Good morning and welcome to Namaste Today, a self-nurturing way to kickstart the day. I'm your heartfelt host and the sensei to serious joy, Christopher Witecki. This audio blogcast is for Thursday, July 20th, 2017. Happy Love Fest Day! Namaste. Well, it's been 28 days since we began this emotional voyage known as Cancer season, and today on Step 28 Day, you will finally see land. In today's Zodiac Weather, I'll talk about how for the first time you might actually feel differently. And next, in our next segment of Tea Time, I'm going to finish up our three-part series on Masters of Emotion. So go steep yourself some tea. Let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is the final segment in a three-part series titled Masters of Emotion. Now, we are in the season of Cancer, and we're nearly ready to wrap it up. Today, Step 28 rules the day, and Step 28, to me, is the third master step of emotion. If you're just catching up, in the last 2 days, I covered the other two masters, Step 27 and Step 26. And the truth is, anything above a 20 is technically a master, but I have experienced through reading after reading and meeting people and looking at the steps that Step 26, 27, and 28 Cancer truly are the masters of emotion, and made me realize if we humans can just master these three steps that these masters have mastered, then we may have it mastered. So up until now, we talked about Step 26, which is really about where we decide what our bliss is, what our zero is, what our foundation of easy flow and go. What does it feel like to be open? What does it feel like to be balanced? What is your ground zero? That's what Step 26 is. And I believe that an emotional functionally human being should understand what their feeling of peace is. You've got to know what peace is for you to understand anything in between. Then we talked about Step 27, and I talked about how this is extremely vital because emotion really drives everything in life. But when should we take action or not with emotion? When should we actually do something about it? And Step 27 is that answer. So Step 27 is a master step because it teaches us when to act and react with our feelings, and that is, of course, when we feel it and we sense it. Step 28, this final step, is really a grandmaster emotional step because it nets to a 10. It tells us how we manifest. That's what 10 is. 2 plus 8 makes 10. It turns into manifestation. And because Cancer is emotional and manifestation is what leads to abundance, when you have emotion and abundance come together, it usually turns into superabundance. So people who understand Step 28 Cancer and can live by Step 28 Cancer, these are the people who can manifest the things that they want. Because truly, in my experience as sensei, if you want to manifest more than what you are, in other words, abundance, greater than what you are, then you must get passion and excitement behind it. It must have this emotional tone. But this is also the step I find for people who are basically figureheads of power, people who hold an emotional tone, people who basically are there to be a symbol of an organization, and they hold the emotional tone of that organization. So a good example maybe is like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was actually a Capricorn, I believe, but I would say that he was able to hold and command an emotional tone through the Depression and through World War II. He literally kept the emotional morale of moody Cancer, America's a Cancer, kept that morale on a certain tone, and he held that tone. There's only, the only thing to fear is fear itself. I think other people like queens and kings really are known for holding an emotional tone. They hold an emotional tone for the country or for the nation that they rule. I also think, for instance, a fine surgeon, like a plastic surgeon or any kind of surgeon, actually has to have and command this emotional tone. They commit to this emotional tone so that they can manifest the procedure, and everyone kind of gets seduced into their tone and trusts their tone. So step 28 Cancers are people who can commit, that's the 8, to a feeling, that's the 2. When you can commit to a certain feeling, to a certain tone, and you hold that tone, what happens is you law of attract more of the tone. And so this becomes a very powerful manifestation degree. Step 28 is powerful in absolutely every sign, but I would say the 2 signs it's most powerful is its home sign, which is Taurus. 28 adds to a 10, which is a Taurus. So step 28 Taurus is a grand master manifester. And probably step 28 Cancer is the other most powerful manifester because it's basically the fertile mama of that same equation. When it comes to the development of your own emotional whoopee cushion, which is what I've been talking about in the last 3 days, that I want to give you the skills to keep your emotional context together and be able to support your new future joy and love, which I believe is coming right around the corner. You have to have this step 28 down. You basically, in order to keep that cushion together, you have to commit to an emotional tone that you're going to keep your life in. Step 26 was us committing to our emotional peace, which is our ground zero. Step 27 is how we react to feelings as they come and go. And step 28 is what we're aiming for, that we commit to feeling a certain way inside ourselves all the time. And you measure the day's success not by what's happening to you, but rather by whether or not you are on your own inner mark, whether or not you are hitting your own inner tone. So it doesn't matter if John gets laid off, are you hitting your tone? It doesn't matter if rent's going to be late, are you hitting your tone? By managing and maintaining a certain tone, a frequency in the universe, I argue it will multiply in people who carry the tone, employees who carry the tone, children who carry the tone, people who repeat the tone, people who bring that tone back to you. And that sort of begs the question, well, what should this tone be? If we're going to commit to a tone, what should it be? And that's where we get to the idea of it's Love Fest Day today, my friend. And love is the highest tone. That is the tone we should always aim for. That is the tone we should commit for in our hearts. And that is the only tone we should judge our life against. Are we feeling love and serious joy, or are we not? And that really is the last step of mastering emotion. To commit to that tone, and ideally a tone of love, that is the nest that will lay the golden egg. When you can hold that tone, you know when to act and when not to act, and you know what ground zero is, you are ready and fertile to manifest some serious joy. Now, this is a great segue to our zodiac weather. We've got a heaven of interesting things going on in this day when we commit to the tone. So sit back, relax, let's have your moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is for Thursday, July 20th, 2017. And my global forecast for planet Gaia is sunny and loving today. Step 28 rules the day. And by divine universe, it's Love Fest Day. Let's take a look at the planets. Many people ask me, what is Love Fest Day, Chris? How do you come up with that? I'll tell you, it's a proven truth. The moon crosses Venus during the course of the day. In fact, actually, in the United States, the moon crossed Venus very early before we woke up. So you could say that this Love Fest was kind of a Sandman, a dream energy that came into our subconscious. And it is the moon crossing Venus in Gemini, which means that we're going to open up and feel love. That's what happens when the moon crosses Venus. We open up finally to receive love, whether it's from ourselves or someone else, quite often both, to be honest. And because Venus is in Gemini, it's our mind. Our mind is finally opening up to brighter ideas. Thank Goddess for that. Because we are actually in the season of Cancer, if you don't know. In fact, today we're at step 28 Cancer. We'll be ready to graduate this transit in about 36 hours. And here in step 28, it means that we are committing to an emotional tone. Now, this emotional tone might be very practical, as in, all right, it needs to feel this way at work, or it has to feel this way at home, or you know what, I can't have this marriage feeling this way, it's got to feel this way. So all of us, in probably very practical terms, are committing to an emotional tone. But because of where it is in the third decan of Cancer, this is an emotional tone that will probably vibrate for 365 days until we get right back here next year in the next season of Cancer. Now here's where God Universe has put her hand in the equation. As we are committing to this tone, first of all, it's Love Fest Day. The moon crosses Venus, and so we have sprinkled in sugar and lollipop dreams, basically, that you could say is light manipulating. I think it is. I think this is where God manipulates free will. Yes, it's a day based on tone, and oops, this just happens to be the day that we open up to love. The other suspecting little detail here, or detail under suspect of divine intervention, is Mars. Mars is our ego. And as you know, our ego is quite often the one in the way of love. Our ego gets in the way, gets defensive, it gets puffy, doesn't want to talk, wants to win. And the ego today in Mars is at step 0 Leo, which means as we go through this tone, creating a tone, God Universe has brought the love and has knocked out the ego. Now, the byproduct or side effect of this is you might feel a little tired today. I notice when Mars goes to 0 degree, I just feel flat and flavorless. I don't even want to style my hair. Of course, I have a Leo rising, but that's a big deal, right? So don't think you're doing anything wrong if you're tired today. Remember, consciousness and the game of manifestation is all conscious. It's about what you're conscious of. There's really no right or wrong action. There's only right or wrong conscious focus. And today you want to put your focus on that self-love. In fact, we are now well into a soul pyramid or a grand trine in fire, triggered by Mercury at step 23 Leo, over to Saturn at retrograde 22 Sag, over to Uranus at 28 Aries. What that means is, once you start looking toward the rainbow, once you start committing towards some joy, the universe has a catcher's mitt to catch this joy and get it amped up even more. So in other words, we are ready to light a fire of passion, let's say dreaming, let's say paradise. This is it. The party is ready to start. In fact, Mars is in Leo, which means our ego now is ready to go for love. Our ego now is ready to chase after self-love. Really, all it has been waiting for is for you to set the tone of the season and set the tone of the game. So today, my friend, it's time to set tone. It's time to decide and commit to a tone, an emotional tone that you want your life to live at. And once you set that tone, the planets say, run wild with imagination, follow your heart, and see where this path leads. Because this is one of the few times where I believe the universe is pointing the entire earth towards some serious joy. And with today being Love Fest Day in the sign of Gemini, it's very likely that you might get an idea or a glimpse of what that's going to be. So don't poo-poo any kind of bright idea that you come up with. And as always in a Love Fest Day, tell everyone you love that you love them. And anyone that tells you that they love you, make sure you give that love back. This is a day where circulating love will bring literal inspiration. Now, for those who are subscribers to my Serious Joy Personal Sensei service, we are on the road to Serious Joy. Today, in your pep talk at 8:08 a.m., I'm going to outline where Love Fest is encouraging you to open up to new ideas. And this, of course, is the final step of our emotional whoopee cushion. For those who are not subscribers, I suggest you do, because beginning on Sunday, which is the new moon, I'm going to be giving special guidance for the next 28 days to my subscribers in their daily pep talk to build step by step through a manifestation. So I don't know if you've ever tried to manifest something before, but I can help you personally for just $3.99 for the first 30 days. Come on down to SeriousJoy.com for more details. All right, friends, that concludes our audio blogcast for the week. Remember, I'll be on the air live tomorrow in our Namaste Today Club, which is at namastetoday.club. That's on Facebook. You can watch and participate live. We even have our comments come up. That will go live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific. And don't worry, if you missed the show, I will put it out on YouTube over the weekend. All right, friends, that's all for now. Can't wait to see and hear from you on Facebook Live. Until then, remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
Live, love, be.